advancement of pollution in Nuevo Leon, Monterrey. Hello, I'm Melanie, and in this video, my team and I we are going to talk about pollution in Nuevo Leon, focusing on our city, Monterrey. We will explain how pollution has changed over the years, whether the situation has improved or worsened, what the main causes are, and what actions have been taken. Since this is the place where we experience every day our lives, our goal is to present clear information and give an overview of the current situation in Monterrey.
Early years. During the 90s and early 2000s, pollution in Monterrey was not widely seen as a major problem. As that time, very, very little was shown in the news feed, and breaking stories about air quality were rarely reported. So most residents only had one perspective, which was influenced by the idea that the city was still growing. The city was surrounded by clean air, and industries were favored. Because of this, Monterrey was believed to be a place where environmental problems were still under control. Years on expansion and growth. Starting around 2005, huge changes happened across the metropolitan area. Massive industrial zones were developed, especially in Apodaca, Escobedo, and Pesquería. New neighborhoods were launched like a major product launch, and promotional materials for hosting projects were produced to attract families. That's all.
Today, I want to talk about the pollutants that have been created the most in Monterrey. According to recent environment studies, three elements which have been identified as the most harmful are PM 2.5, PM 10, and ozone. PM 2.5 and PM 10 are tiny particles that are often described as those so small that enter the best parts of the lungs. It has been reported that these particles are mainly produced by factories, cars, trucks, construction works, fires, and dust from strange winds. For many years, these pollutions were underestimated, but now they are being monitored more carefully. Citizens have been encouraged to speak up because when people are informed, action can be taken and real change can be promoted. Ozone is another pollutant that has increased significantly. It's formed when sunlight hits and other pollutants react. Something happening almost every day in Monterrey. Experts have stated that your ozone levels are among the highest in Mexico. These pollutants have pushed advocacy groups and community leaders to create campaigns designed to spread awareness. With social media, citizen journalism, and marketing style message, many people try to inspire others to protect your air. The truth is simple. If pollution keeps rising, your responsibility must rise too. To protect Monterrey, a strong action needs to be taken. Better rules must be enforced and clear information has to be shared. A cleaner city is a goal that can be achieved if we work together and refuse to stay silent.
But have there
Okay.
been better years? There have been moments when Monterrey air quality seems to improve, even if only a little and for a short time. Around 2017, for example, levels of fine particulate matter were observed to decrease, and stricter inspections were carried out on factories that had been producing most of the emissions. Several public policies were implemented and awareness campaigns which were sponsored by local environmental groups, were launched so that people could understand how researches the improvement were documented in reports, photographs, and new updates that made the situation very visible to the public. It felt as if the city was finally getting back on track with environmental regulations designed to protect vulnerable communities. Still, even though efforts were made to make a difference, the progress didn't last. Once inspections slowed down and industries relaxed their controls, pollution levels began to rise again, proving that occasional improvements are not enough when long-term commitment it is missing.
Okay. From my part, today Monterrey is considered one of the most polluted cities in Mexico. And for this case, the air quality is often reported to be bad or very bad, and especially affecting children or the most people with asthma or allergies. And in areas like Apodaca, fine dust and harmful particles are constantly breathed in because of traffic, factories, and wine. Apodaca is the best example of the um, mechanical industry, and in Apodaca exist all the factories, and this mega pollution very bad in all the state. And living in this kind of environment, many people become cynical and feel that no real change is being made. And however, social media campaigns have been created to raise awareness and make a difference. And this is very important. So, um, unfortunately, the misleading or clickbait content is very common and often shared online, and biased information that can be spread like wildfire.
So, why it matters? This issue matters because air pollution in Monterrey is detrimental to health, especially for those who are more fragile. Fine particles and toxic gases are known to be likely to lung damage, allergies, coughing, and respiratory infections, which are felt more intensely by babies, children, older adults, and anyone who already struggles with their breathing. Programs were implemented to raise awareness. I mean to educate citizens and help them understand how pollution affects the lungs and the quality of life in the long run. By engaging health experts, communities, and environmental groups, a strong campaign can act as a positive force, one that encourages prevention rather than damage control. A clean atmosphere isn't just a scientific goal, it is something that can make a real difference for thousands of people every day, helping them live and breathe safely. At the very last, we must continue monitoring pollution levels so the problem doesn't spread like wildfire again. Because this city deserves more than temporary improvements and broken promises.
Okay. Over the years, pollution in Monterrey has become a serious problem, and the city has been affected by the growth of the industry and the traffic, um, and higher levels that exist of, for example, the ozone on harmful particles have been recorded all the days, and although some campaigns have been launched, the situation is still believed to be getting worse. And yeah, and environmental projects are sometimes very important, very, because funded by sponsors. Studies often not enough. And in many cases, campaigns have pollution controls, and instead to protect this their rent and this project, not because they really care. And this is very important that we must combat pollution, but we need everyone's help. And that's it for us. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.